couple 100 miles will separate us for a while, but I believed that we would be back at the end of the year. But it's like you disappeared and you moved on, gone. A new season has dawned. You were mine till the end of summer. Each day that I pass by that place, I wonder, could we try again, recover? Or was our love only for the summer? The summer, the summer. Oh, you were mine until the end of the summer. You were mine until the end of the summer. Summer. You were mine until the end of the summer. Oh, oh. You were mine till the end of summer. Each day that I pass by that place, I wonder, could we try again, recover? Or was our love only for the summer? The summer, the summer. Oh, you were mine until the end of the summer. You were mine until the end of the summer. The summer, the summer. Feels like a bed. You were mine until the end of the summer. You were mine until the end of the summer.
Hello everyone, welcome to State of the Game for October 5, 2017. It's me, Petter again. I'm all alone here once more. Or, well, not really, Hamish is actually here.
I'm here.
He's here, he's right there in the corner in my regular spot. First of all, it's my first time in the couch on my own, which is actually more scary than perhaps it sounds. The classic State of the Game couch. So
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you very much, Hamish. I'm just slightly nervous about it, but it'll be fine. So let's go through the news. First of all, I promise you guys this won't just be 8 minutes this time. I'm actually kind of proud of myself for those 8 minutes, but this will be longer, I promise. So first of all, this global event is Global Event 2, Assault, is running right now on the live servers. You guys seem to be enjoying yourselves a lot. I am enjoying myself a lot with it. Russian consulate, major assault with 4 people. It's good stuff. As you know, masks are now on commendations compared to leaderboards. Leaderboards only reward classified caches this time around. You can get the masks through doing various things in the game. And I know that there has been some confusion surrounding some of the commendations that you guys feel they are a bit unclear. Because of that, we've put up a forum threads on the forums. Just go to forums.ub.com and surf into the Division forums. And we have, in the general forums there, we have a thread that will keep updated if there are any more confusion around certain commendations. But go check there. Ask any questions you have in the thread, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we possibly can. There's a couple of things about the ones where you have to run without using healing skills and stuff like that. So go check that out, just in case. So PTS, Phase 2 went live today on the PC servers at around 3 p.m. CEST. The patch notes for that, they are on the forums. The global patch notes will be updated as well. There might be updates coming in still to the patch notes. You never know, but they are up. So go check those out. If you're on PC, download the client and go test if you have time when you're not shooting things in Assault. PTS on consoles. I know you guys want news from me when it comes to that, and sadly I have to tell you that we're still aiming for next week. We don't have a date just now. We should know early next week, and we'll communicate with you straight away. As soon as I know, then we'll communicate on it. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I don't have an exact date or time for you yet. But do remember that PTS 2 will run for a while, so there will be plenty of time for console testing as well. And yeah, so don't worry about that part. We know some people have been worrying that the PTS will be very short, but there will be a while for you guys to test it out as well, just like the PC players have been doing. Global Event 3 and 4, they are planned to be running on the PTS at some point. Again, is one of those. I don't have the dates for it, but it'd be great if you guys can test those out as much as possible. When we were doing Outbreak and Assault on the PTS, that was a really good thing, and we got a lot of information out of that. So it'd be great if you guys could try out Global Event 3 and 4 on the PTS. Coming soon, trademark on that one. Those are kind of the news. I would have been done in 3 minutes if this had been last week. I joked about that before, and it would actually have been true. But no, we're going to stick around a little bit longer because I have, once again, our special guests, fan favorites. Let them introduce themselves. Hey, we can hear you now, guys.
Oh, hi.
Hey. I always ask you to introduce yourselves to the stream.
Yeah.
So who are you?
I'm Keith Evans. I'm a lead designer here at Red Storm on The Division.
I'm Terry Spear, creative director here on The Division at Red Storm.
So the horns, Terry?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, there we go.
And I'll just politely wave.
So,
Hi, everybody.
So today we're not going to talk about, even though the global events is happening right now, we're actually more going to talk about the PTS instead, how that's been going and kind of what we can expect for the future. So how do you guys feel that the PTS has been going in general?
How do you feel, Keith?
I mean, honestly, pretty good so far. I'm glad we were able to try to pace the content out a little bit. Got some good focused testing on things like the optimization station and Rogue 2.0. And, you know, like we've talked about before, we just have a lot to test on this PTS. So, you know, getting these multiple iterations is great.
Yeah, content for days, right?
Content for days.
I think if there's one, I have one little tiny regret, and that's the fact that the global event and the PTS overlapped, and that's a bummer for several folks. But we realized that we can't neglect the live game. We didn't want to delay it until the PTS was over. So that's kind of a drag, but hopefully you forgive us.
And PTS 2, like Petter said, it's going to be up for a while. So
Awesome. So what have over the last 1.5 weeks, roughly, what have been the big, like, top-level learnings that have come out for the PTS for you guys?
Well, I'll start.
Sure.
I was really depressed that the big Alejandro was a little bit OP. Just a little bit OP. So we found out that Alejandro was a little much. What else? What else?
Yeah, I mean, well, just to touch on that, like, you know, we wanted it to be awesome. It clearly was awesome. You know, PTS 2 has some changes on it, and, you know, we think it's going to end in a really good spot. Still be super powerful, but more in line. But, yeah. Outside of that, I mean, honestly, it's been all the conversations on Optimization Station. A lot of people super psyched about it. Some really good constructive feedback. So we're feeling good about it. And, you know, now it's all just tuning that DTech economy and, you know, seeing how long people are going to be in the game grinding before they can go do their optimization. And that's what PTS 2 is kind of all about.
Yep.
Right. So how do you feel about the reactions that have been coming out to, for example, let's start out with Rogue 2.0. Like, what have
Rouge
the
2.0.
Rouge
Yeah,
2.0.
I was about to say that, wasn't I? So, Rogue 2.0. The reactions that you've seen so far.
Very happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's impossible to please everyone, obviously, but I've been very happy with the responses, and it's honestly, the Darkstone feels almost like a new game mode.
Yeah, it feels like it is going to revitalize it the way we were wanting. We're, of course, going to tweak some numbers here and there and that type of thing, but it's been a very, very positive test so far.
Yeah, and skirmish.
Yes, skirmish as well. That's the next point. Next PvP point would be skirmish.
Yeah, skirmish, man. So we've been watching, you know, a ton of Twitch and playing in a bunch of games ourselves and seen some super good matches. Also some pretty crazy blowouts, some 20-0s. So we are making some, you know, some targeted tuning changes to try to help with that issue. Namely, the wave timer on PTS2 is a little longer, so that, you know, if you're really getting pushed and, you know, it's about to be a team wipe, you have a greater chance of all respawning as a group, so you're not just continuously getting picked off one by one. Yeah. That seems to have a pretty good effect on like the pace of the game. Helps the kill count kind of go down to the wire.
Yeah, but generally speaking,
super positive. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great addition to the game.
A lot less running. A lot more gunning, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. For Terry put in our notes, amazing gunning with less running. I was really hoping that you were going to say that. Otherwise, I would have been very, very disappointed.
No, it's true. It has been a lot. It's been very well received, and that makes us super happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so yeah, just the little tweaks and the polish, and you know, honestly, the continued balance passes that'll come in over PTS2, and you know, continuing, that's what's going to make skirmish just super awesome.
Yeah, and that includes skirmish stuff. That includes gear set stuff.
Absolutely.
All the things blend together for a good happiness.
Yep.
So can we talk a little bit about the things that have changed from PTS1 to PTS2, like some of the tweaks you've been making? And no. Okay, no.
I'm just
no,
kidding.
we're done. Let's talk about the Alejandro first of all.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were sad, Terry.
I was sad. I mean, everybody knows I like the LMG, and
well, I just really wanted people to love the LMG as much as you do.
Yeah.
No.
Let's talk about the talent.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some changes to, you know, its damage roll and things like that, but really we focused on the weapon talent, and you know, we wanted this weapon. It has this crazy RPM, and we wanted it to kind of have this suppression-esque talent where you're firing bullets at your enemy and you're raising this buff, and then you're kind of charging once they're kind of suppressed. That's the feel of the talent we wanted. But obviously, you could raise these stacks just by firing your weapon into the air or into the ground. So we've made some changes to the talent there, so it plays more like we kind of envisioned it, and it's, you know, a little more tactical.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good in the end, just not quite OP.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's still super powerful.
Yeah. Let's see, we did some changes to Nomad, right?
Yeah, you know, those are changes that, you know, we always envisioned that set as being this really awesome PvE solo set. It was definitely more powerful in skirmish than what we intended it to be, and that's mostly because the damage resilience number was super high, and it could pop really often and not trigger the cooldown. So there's some changes to the chances of it triggering the cooldown. The damage resiliency is lowered to 60, which is still more than enough to make it super powerful in PvE, but balances it out a little more for PvP.
Yeah, I think it'll be good overall.
Yeah.
But I say that a lot.
You say that a lot because you have faith.
I do have faith. And then, of course, there's the damage on gloves, right? We made a big change for the game overall, but we saw some improvements we could make.
Yeah, and there's been some awesome like breakdown videos in the community on exactly how all these changes are affecting people's DPS and if it's playing out how we envisioned. And you know, overall it is, but the percentage increase that you could get on things like, you know, ARs and LMGs was considerably lower than the previous just flat damage increase. So those rolls are increased so that you can kind of hit the power levels that you're used to in, like, say, 1.7, but still we get that added benefit of bringing the lower RPM weapons into balance with everything else.
Amen.
Yep.
So let's look at some of the new stuff that's coming in or came with PTS2. I keep forgetting the fact that we actually launched PTS2 on PC today.
Right.
For example, Tacticians.
Yes.
Yes.
Get to play with that.
It's very fun. Like, where you kind of get this rhythm to your skills now, where you're playing this, you know, awesome caster role and you're building your buffs, getting this skill rotation. Super fun. There's going to be lots of interesting skill combinations that people come up with there. And then also Alpha Bridge is available now.
That's pure insanity.
It's pure insanity.
Let's take a moment just to say it is pure insanity. Alpha Bridge is pure insanity. And you know what?
And super fun.
Yeah, I think we should talk a little bit about the changes we have on deck for that, just in case people try it in PTS2. Right?
Yeah. So, you know, this version of Alpha Bridge kind of nails the mechanics that we were looking for. We wanted it to be this really fun visceral set where chaining these kills together gives you this power boost, and it has this real cool risk-reward where you don't have your normal super.
Yeah.
So just so people know, the way this works is if you get a player kill or you kill a veteran or elite, you're popping like a personal version of one of the supers on yourself. It lasts for a shorter duration, and they kind of go through a cycle. So moving forward, we're making some changes that just didn't make it into PTS2, where the supers that pop are kind of specially tuned to make them kind of at the right power level compared to other gear sets, but kind of keep the frenetic pace of Alpha Bridge. So
yeah, because you're watching the rotating buff.
Exactly.
Timing your kills, and when you're doing team play, especially in skirmish, you know, it can be a huge advantage if your team group lets you, the Alpha Bridge wearer, get that first kill, right? Then you pop that and you can just train it.
Yeah, and you can kind of stack them, but you know, if someone else on your team pops recovery link, you're not going to get the benefit from that. You lose all of functionality of your super for wearing the set. So
GG, sucker.
It's, yeah, big risk, big reward.
What else do we have? Resistance. Resistance is up,
yes,
which is awesome. I know we are already getting some fantastic feedback, even on day one, about resistance. We've got changes planned there already. The new alerts, right? Westside Piers.
Yeah, so, you know, PTS1 had kind of just the base of the dynamic spawning, and you can explore the world. Now we're starting to layer in some of the different activities. So the first few alerts are available. So if you kind of explored in PTS Wave 1, get back in there. And also, this is where the kind of first tuning pass of the DTech economy comes in. So completing alerts gives you DTech. We've pulled back the DTech. It was a temp value on the assignments, Westside Piers assignments. You were getting 10 for that. That was just placeholder. So get in there and kind of test out how quickly you're accruing DTech and how these alerts are feeling, and yeah.
Keith, why do I need DTech?
For the optimization station.
Oh, right, gear optimization, baby!
Yeah, and oh, well, and on top of that, you know, deconstructing, you're getting a lot of loot now, and people are, at this point, they're going after a few key items, so you have a lot of stuff to sell or trash or decide what you want to do with it. Now, deconstructing gear has a chance of giving you DTech as well.
Is that in the notes? Did you spoil it?
I think it's in the notes.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think
cool.
it's in there.
That's so passionate. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Just making sure everyone saw that. You can get DTech from deconstruction now, which is pretty awesome.
Yes.
And then, of course, Underground. Yep. Underground is in this PTS2.
Yep.
So get down there, check out the hunters that spawn. They're going to kick your ass.
New directives.
Just explore all that stuff and make sure it feels good. Give us feedback on that.
Yep.
I think that's everything.
Those are the big major things that are dropping right now. And so a lot of new stuff to test.
That's everything in quotation marks. That's quite a lot to test.
Yes.
So speaking of which, what do you actually want people to test now on the PTS2?
So, you know, obviously the new stuff that dropped, Resistance and Alerts and Underground, and when the global events come live, those are all things that we really do want very focused testing on. Try out the new sets, try the balance changes that came in. So, you know, if you were tired of using whatever in PTS Wave 1, kind of give it another go now, especially like Big Alejandro. And then specifically with Resistance, we're really looking at that Wave 1 through 15 experience. That's where you kind of climb through hard, challenging, and legendary difficulties. And that's where we really focused our efforts for this PTS. The kind of endless difficulty will be getting dropped in. That's what we're working on right now. So you can expect a lot of things to come there, like randomized wild cards, which are like when your Shade Tech goes offline or when you get hit by a contamination blast, a ton more boss variation. And we're also going through and bringing archetypes from all the other factions and making them legendary difficulty. So you'll start seeing, right now it's only LMB3 in those waves, you'll start seeing, you know, cleaners and riders, but add a new legendary difficulty tier.
Yeah, so anything past wave 15 right now
is kind of placeholder.
Yeah, it starts to feel a little repetitive, and that's sort of the reason why. Because that's coming, baby.
It is coming.
That's coming. That's absolutely coming.
Yeah, because I'm seeing now in chat, there's actually people already that's been reaching quite high numbers.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That number
we
is
expected
high.
that. Yeah. It'll be significantly more difficult and more engaging.
Absolutely.
In iterations to come.
Yeah.
Specifically for what to test in PTS2, and this is probably sounding like a broken record, but because there are new things, like Keith said, just focus on the new stuff. If you've been doing something or focusing on a specific activity, change it up, change up the gear you're using, and just try to give us the most broad, bits of feedback that you can, and try not to just hammer on one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless it's something that received a tweak, like Alejandro or something like that.
Spread the love.
Yeah, and of course, please do take the time to look at all the beautiful art that's all across Westside Piers and in those arenas and everything. It's some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. I want to see those high-res screenshots coming out of the PTS so people can see what a fantastic job the art staff did.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty stunning.
Oh, yes, please. There's at least one person within the community who's been posting a lot of screenshots, like beautiful vistas.
Oh, yeah.
Bondicio.
Yes.
And go to VSP when you have the chance and take as many screenshots as you can.
Absolutely.
To make Keith and Terry happy.
Make us happy.
Yes, make them happy.
Yeah.
So what kind of changes can we potentially see beyond PTS2?
Well, there's a whole slew of things. We could start with, will be some adjustments to the defense set, right?
Yeah, we're making some changes there. Still the overall direction that we were heading with the version that dropped in PTS1, but we're making it so you can kind of hit a higher level of shield health and doing some changes to, basically just kind of making sure the shield is still viable with other sets that aren't just defense, but the defense is kind of the ultimate shield build. So there's some balance changes coming there. There's more Westside Piers alerts that'll be dropping, so just kind of add to the variety of Westside Piers.
Yeah, the signs and feedback, more signs and feedback on the classified sets and the exotics and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So players have a better understanding of what's happening and what they're triggering.
And then, a lot of our focus right now will be just kind of nailing the pacing of the Westside Piers open world. It's kind of the first time we've done this kind of fully dynamic living world feel. So there's a lot of knobs to tune there, and layering in that endless difficulty to resistance.
Yeah, it's really amazing. These last few weeks, there's so much stuff just
it's where it all,
all the polish,
awesome.
All the beauty, all those little knobs, and there's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we love the PTS, because you guys make sure we don't forget any of this stuff, make sure we don't leave any T's not crossed and any I's not dotted.
Yeah, and it lets everyone's feedback get in there before, we put the final nail in it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yep.
When's it coming out? Oh, that was my bad, sorry.
So we can summarize and say that you guys are so far very happy with how the PTS has been going. Looking forward to PTS2 and what might come out of that. Just to make
absolutely.
a great, happy little summary of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming once again. Can we expect to see you more in the near future?
Please.
It depends on if you'll have us.
Yes, we love being here.
We will have you again, happily.
Thank you.
But thank you very much, guys. Thank you for giving us that update. And we'll talk again soon.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
All right. So that was Terry and Keith from Redstorm talking about the PTS in general. And I want to also reiterate and say thank you very much to all the people that have been testing so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what the console crowd thinks of the PTS and all the testing you guys are going to make once we get the PTS for consoles started. Again, news about that probably early next week. We're aiming to have it up for you, during the next week. So I'm just going to run through a couple of the things I talked about in the beginning. Again, let's just, PTS on consoles, aiming for next week. Done. Global Event Assault 2, Global Event 2 Assault is running right now on the live servers, so get in there. There have been some confusion around the Assault commendations. Some of them have been a bit unclear. We've started a forum thread about that we'll keep updating, and to make sure that we have as much clarity on those commendations as possible. Get in there, ask any questions if you have them, and go to forums.ub.com and click your way to the division forums, and from there to the general forums, and you'll find the thread sticky there. PTS2 was started today on PC at around 3 p.m. CEST. Underground and Resistance, for example, have become available. There's a bunch of changes and stuff, so check out the patch notes, also available on the forums, on the PTS subforum. Remember to post any bugs you find, any suggestion and feedback you have on those forums as well. That's greatly appreciated, and let's test this thing as much as we can. Just break the game as much as you can on the PTS, not on the live servers, please. And make sure we get as much testing as possible. And I'm glad I got to point at the camera once again. Global Events 3 and 4, you can expect them on the PTS2. Last time was a great success testing out Outbreak and Assault, so we hope that you test those out as well. I have no exact timing for that right now, but we'll communicate those as soon as we have them. I'm going to clarify one thing, though, that I'd actually forgotten in the beginning, which I just want to briefly mention. We did maintenance today, and in the changelog for that, it said that we were fixing a bug with a special event. That wording, special event, seems to have caused some confusion. Those are the regular special weekend events that we have been running with double rewards on HVT bosses or extra field proficiency caches and stuff like that. So it's a bug related to those. It's not like a new special global event style thing. Just so you guys know, so there's no confusion. I want to be as open as possible. That's my bad. Sorry. Just so you guys know. And yeah, that's pretty much it for State of the Game. Thank you very much again to Terry and Keith for coming. Thank you to Shat as well. And yeah, we'll see you again next Thursday. And of course, again, we'll keep you updated on PTS for console as soon as we have that information. But I'll see you guys next week. Take care.